I know some of you are racing out the door, so I won't get into another meteorological discussion about the difference between a towering cumulus, chubby cumulus, and just plain cumulus. But I can just tell you by looking at the sky, and here's a live look at the River City by the sea. We're talking about downtown, and there is the river. These clouds are just enough to produce a few sprinkles, not lasting long. Otherwise, this is what I call balmy. 75 degrees, dew point 67 degrees, and that's the kind of evening we're going to have. Again, there go these isolated sprinkles again today. We'll see them tomorrow. For the most part, I think you're going to have a nice day tomorrow. If you like lows in the 60s, highs of 80 to about 84 degrees and a breeze, but there will be those isolated showers. Let's talk about the tropics. We talk about it a lot. That is warming, greenhouse gases. Think about it this way. The Earth, the atmosphere, has what we call an energy budget. And right now we have an energy surplus. That is, because of the greenhouse gases, there's more energy coming into the atmosphere than going out. So what does that mean? Well, it's warming up the oceans. So what? Well, the warmer the oceans, the more heat. Heat is a measure of energy, and unfortunately, we saw an example last night. At this point last night, there it is right there, a tropical storm that was forecast only to be a Category 1, within 12 hours became a Category 5, slammed into Acapulco. Power is still down there. We don't know how bad it was, but that's one of our concerns about these warmer waters. Another example, although not as tragic, even Tammy last night over the open waters. There's Bermuda. The Hurricane Center was forecasting Tammy to strengthen some, but not to almost a Category 3. Despite the fact it's late October, these waters are warm, and that's what happens when there's a lot of energy out there. Still looks like this will decrease and weaken before it heads toward Bermuda. But of course, yet another reason to keep a close watch on those updates. We don't have to worry about tropical cyclones here, at least not for the next week. High pressures keeping storminess off to the west, the hurricane off to the east of us. By the way, Tammy is 1,200 miles off to the east of us. High pressure will settle in toward us, and that will even cause the sprinkles to decrease. So again, tomorrow, overall nice. Might be a sprinkle out there. We've talked about the rip current risk. By Saturday, we won't have any sprinkles. I'm just going to call it super. But again, be prepared for those warm temperatures. If anything, the warmth builds on Sunday, highs of 85 degrees. We've talked a lot about the events, but I know some of you are looking beyond Florida, Georgia, amazingly, because what's next? Well, Halloween. And here's what we do feel confident about, that cooler weather will arrive about Halloween. Between now and then, we're going to be warm and, if anything, warming. Remember, this is the time of the year where temperatures should gradually be cooling. For those of you wondering, record heat by early next week gets into the upper 80s. So by about Monday, we're going to see conditions approaching record heat. But on Halloween, winds will become northerly and they'll be cooler. The big question is, will it be significantly cooler, or will the chilly stuff hold off until Wednesday? We will keep you updated.